Yeah, alright guys, so I'm gonna do some quick updates real fast. I haven't set up my air mattress yet, probably way late for, not getting that done. But I just want to say that there's a lot of updates. I'm sorry that some of the videos I've been uploading might not be exactly what you're expecting. I'm hoping to upload a video either sometime on this very night as this video goes up, and if not on this very night, since I'm planning on drawing some characters from the Perfect Apocalypse series, since I recently got into that, and I have played the first game and the third game, but I have not gotten a chance to play the second game yet because that unfortunately costs money, and I really do want to support the creators of this, but I'm gonna have to unfortunately get permission to purchase the second game before I can actually start playing it. So expect me to talk about like what I think about the games, because as far as what I've been seeing, I really like the story to the games. The artwork's really good, and it's inspired me to want to draw some of the characters from the series, and I might even actually draw a Sona of myself if I was in the game. Most likely will be a cat, and I'm going to try to follow through with the same kind of format that the characters have on the wiki page, so look forward to that. I am going to be doing a video soon involving Larry and Bowser Jr., because I finally got those plushies in a couple days back. There's like these cool Pokemon cards I recently got in the mail that I would love to show all of you on my channel. For those that might not have connections to me on my other social media accounts, that I'd love to, show you guys. I wanted to update you guys on some good news. We're still trying to pay off stuff currently, but if things go well, my family is hoping to buy a new house soon, within this year, at some point. So be looking forward to more frequent videos and more content in general on all my social media accounts, because from what I was told, I should be getting my own room soon, and when that happens, you'll get to see me doing more game let's play type stuff, and I'll have a proper setup. My room won't look trash as heck, and yeah, just a lot of stuff's going to be coming up soon. There's a video I'm going to make about what I think and feel about the new design for the Pringles cans, and believe it or not, Larry, Koopaling, and Bowser Jr. are going to actually have something to do with that video, because it's going to be a video skit about explaining that they were on vacation and they're just now coming back to explain why they weren't in the videos until now. I'm hopefully going to be able to upload more SML Alternate Reality AU series episodes once we move into that house that we're trying to buy, where I actually have more leeway and stuff of that nature, because then I'll be able to, record more often in my own room. So yeah, just be looking forward to all that. I'm not really sure exactly what month. I've kind of forgot. I've been kind of stressed and stuff though, because I'm still a bit down about the legalities of name change, dental problems, and like the whole transitioning, because recently my friend and I, we kind of had a little bit of a debate, and they accidentally hurt my feelings, and then we tag teamed to find out how much money it would cost to do top and bottom surgery, now that some trans YouTubers have actually brought to my attention that like bottom surgery now has new technology and research that has gifted them the ability to do a proper bottom surgery that actually is efficient and actually works for female to male trans individuals. So I know I'm 29 and I'm an autistic man-child of a guy. And another thing that's been kind of depressing me is this on-off, like, constant, like, online relationships that keep failing left and right. But I don't want to, like, kind of bring drama to you guys, because y'all obviously have a lot that y'all have to deal with as is. But this is just like a quick update type thing. I know my birthday's coming up in May as well. I'm not really looking forward to it because chronologically I'm going to be 30, but because of me being, on the spectrum of autism with my Asperger's and all, I kind of, have that child, that immature childlike innocence and stuff, and have like that 12-year-old mentality. So, and technically, for those that don't know, some people seem to think that Asperger's is mainly just a learning disability, but I would like to say, kind of inform people that that's not necessarily the case. There's other symptoms that affect people with that, and honestly, it makes working really hard. I'm not able to do a lot of things, so I have that low self-esteem there, and the depression and anxiety and social awkwardness does not necessarily help. But I have like our family pets to thank because, at least they're helping me talk to something. And I have a bad habit of thinking out loud, and I know it makes people mad, and it's kind of hard to break that habit because, again, me running around the house and jumping around may look retarded to some people, but that's actually because of the Asperger's itself. Like, I most likely do have a bit of OCD, ADHD type, tendencies mixed in with this learning disability and other symptoms along that line. However, unlike most people, I kind of just embrace it for what it is because I'd rather not change myself because of what society expects, because why should I change myself to, fit something that makes me boring and bland like everybody else when I can just embrace my colorfulness and just use that to its advantage and do what I do best. Now, I'm kind of like a liability in some cases, especially at work, and I don't do that on purpose. It's kind of accidental. But yeah, like I was saying, this is basically just like an update video. I plan on making a lot more videos down the line, and I hope you guys can still, stick with me till that point. And further on beyond that, for that matter, because I know I'm not like SML. I'm not like these popular YouTubers like freaking, BG Mike or all these really top-notch, YouTubers, but I am trying my best. So I really hope that you guys are willing to take time to be patient with me because I know a lot of people don't like autistic people. And I sure as frick don't like people with Asperger's either because they have that monotone voice. So it's really hard for me to like change the tone of my voice because I can't really fix it. It's kind of just stuck at that, it's stuck like that. Now, I've had friends say that I sound like cartoon characters, and that could be because I'm fiction kin to a lot of male characters. So I'm just going to say that if you're like trans male like me but haven't transitioned, and you are fiction kin like I am, I would highly recommend that you keep sticking to that because that can actually help build self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem like I do, where you're always constantly beating yourself down because you don't think that you're like, good enough or whatever. And, I have like an interesting story and a couple of other cool things that I want to talk about that had recently happened at work too, like non-drama based stuff. But yeah, I promise that I'm going to have way more stuff going on down the line. I know that you guys might not be too happy, and I'm sorry for deleting some of the videos in the past, because since YouTube's kind of strict and you're not really supposed to have things that you don't technically own the rights to, I had to delete certain things. While I'm recording this though, there is one other thing that I wanted to point out that I was too afraid to mention at first, and it has a lot to do with that COPA or whatever it is. And what I don't understand is I do understand that they're trying to protect children from, those inappropriate people, those adults that exploit children for, like, inappropriate reasons to, like, GPS their location to potentially do really bad things. And while I do agree that a safety system needs to be put into place, and that's 100%, I understand that completely, I just want to point out that while that is a good thing to do, I do want to point out that with autistic people, especially adults with autism, they're not going to have that kind of mentality because they think like a child themselves. And from personal experience and from knowing my best friend, she has a sister that also happens to be autistic, but she's at a form of it to where she can't really speak like I do. And she and I both have a tendency to watch a lot of cartoony type stuff on the internet. And so I don't think it's fair to assume that all adults on social platforms, especially on YouTube, are constantly targeting children. And I don't think it's fair that you're lashing out on YouTubers that happen to have videos about their pets, their artwork, or gameplay or music they like from like video games and stuff and their favorite TV shows, when there's a possible chance that they might be autistic, and that might be the reason why they're gravitated toward that kind of material. I understand you're trying to protect children from bad people, but you need to stop comparing autistic people to non-autistic people, because we're not wired the same way. And I don't think that that's fair for people like me, and you shouldn't get on to us like that, because no one asks to be born that way, and that's something you're going to be stuck with for the rest of your life. And nothing sucks more than having other adults treat you terribly just because of something you have no control over. And you're never supposed to assume things about autistic people anyway, because that's one of the few things you're not supposed to do when dealing with people on the spectrum. So that was just another thing I wanted to point out, but I didn't want people that were a part of the COPA team to come after me, because I'm not saying that they don't deserve to have a right to voice out their thoughts on the matter, because I do agree that children need to be protected from bad adults. But they also need to take into consideration that some of them might be autistic and don't think like that, and it's not fair to assume that we're like that, because that's why I'm so insecure when children at my job want to talk to me, because I feel like if I even remotely try to say hello or smile at them, the parent is going to assume that it's like ill intention, and they're not going to understand that I'm just a man-child myself. And it's not fair that society tries to demonize autistic adults, because it's not their fault, okay? We're living in a very difficult situation. And with me being trans male on top of that, makes it even worse, because a lot of people hate trans people because they think the same thing about trans people, especially when it comes to the whole bathroom controversy. Because they're like, oh, trans men and women are just going into these bathrooms of the opposite gender so that they can mess with people inappropriately, when that's not even the case. They don't seem to understand that some of us have a really bad case of body dysphoria, and we're just not okay with how we look. And until we transition, we're never going to be truly happy until we have the necessary things to kind of like help us go in the right direction. And I'm kind of tired of people just trashing a lot of us people that they don't understand, all that well. It just stresses me out. And I hope that, I'm going to help people with voicing this stuff out, because there's been a ton of things that's been going down that I just don't like, especially with a current situation. And again, I can't say the location of my job, but apparently there was a person that was accused of doing some pretty bad stuff, so like the police are possibly involved. And I don't know, I just don't like it when people cause drama and then they start, judging people, because you're not really supposed to assume that just because a person looks bad that they're all of a sudden bad, because sometimes people may not realize that they're coming off as inappropriate, and they genuinely think that what they're saying is nice and kind, but don't realize that they might be coming off as an inappropriate statement, and you need to see things from their perspective. I'm not condoning the idea that it's okay to accept bad people if they actually are bad and are on record for doing bad things. But what I am encouraging is to never judge a person based off of how they look on the outer surface. Because that's like if you went up to me because I have tattoos and you assume that I'm a part of a gang or something. Just because people have tattoos doesn't mean they're a part of a gang that does illegal actions. So, as that example, you shouldn't judge people in general anyways. That's disrespectful. And in this current situation, it's just wrong. And maybe I'm just too naive, or maybe it's the Asperger's or whatever, but I just don't understand why people are so hateful. Like, I try my absolute hardest to not be a bad guy, I really do, but I oftentimes find myself in like situations where people just draw out the bad part of my character on a constant, and I don't feel happy about it at all. Like, it really depresses me that so many people wait until I'm badly hurt to start accusing me of being a bad person when they don't realize that they've put me through a lot of trauma and pain, and yet they expect me to just accept it and then not voice out my opinion, and then try to silence me the minute I actually try to voice out how I feel about the situation. And to me, that's just unacceptable. That's not professional, and it's downright disrespectful, and you should allow people to voice out how they feel if they have bad trauma and negative emotion to it. Because if they bottle that up, it's not going to do them any good at all down the road. And just because something happens in the past does not mean that it's not going to have relevance or a haunting effect on people years later. And I'm not saying that to guilt trip people, but a lot of the things that people, have been exposed to as a child does affect them both positively and negatively depending on what happened years later. They're not going to be able to ever forget those things. They may be able to forgive you, but they're not going to forget because the brain does not work that way. And I just want to, remind people that don't do those things. Try to be more open-minded and diverse and understand that the world's filled with different people. Never compare autistic people with non-autistic people, because that's another one of the few things that you don't need to be doing. And another thing that just pisses me off. I think some of the coworkers I have do not understand why this offends me, but I don't like being accused of things I haven't done. I've had an instance where someone did that, and it was so bad I had to have my sister pick me up to go home because I was that upset and had to get out of that situation immediately. But, aside from that, there's just so many other, things that you just aren't supposed to do with autistic people. Like, I don't like the fact that people keep comparing autistic people with non-autistic people, being like, oh, if this person can do this, you can totally do that. Or, in my case, they say that people with Asperger's have a high-functioning form of autism, but yet they don't understand that even if that's the case, I still have a lot of complications. Just because I can speak sentences does not mean that I'm not slower mentally and kind of defective in a way. So people need to understand that I still have some severe complications when I'm at work because I'm constantly zoning out. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing, even though my heart is in the right place, because I do things for the customer, not so much because people are paying me, even though I do understand money is important, but the main thing I focus on is customer satisfaction. And not because I'm brainwashed into that mentality, but because I voluntarily accept the fact that in life you're always meant to serve other people. You're not supposed to be a selfish individual. You're not supposed to let greed overcome your entire life. You're supposed to do things for others like what you would for yourself, by putting others before yourself like God did for others. Because God always put other people before himself because he knew that he could believe and trust in those people that they would do the right thing. And we should do the same for other people. We should follow in that same footstep and do the same thing. Be like our pets, because our pets love people unconditionally, no matter what kind of background you have. And you need to be able to do these kinds of things. And I know my videos are not scripted, but sometimes I just want to get kind of deep with my, subscribers, because I want them to know that my videos are not only wholesome, but in a way kind of inspiring and motivational and kind of educational, I guess. Even though I'm not really a teacher, I just want to be able to get my voice across for those that might not have the bravery to speak out how they feel themselves. Because even though I've been exposed with a lot of ridicule, hatred, insecurities that I still currently have, and sometimes my stress levels do lead to me, doing the inflicting of pain upon myself that I should not be doing. It's not as bad as it was in the past. And I have been staying on top of taking my medicine like I'm supposed to, even though at times it really does depress me that I do have to be at that point in my life where I have to do that. But as I've read all over the internet and as I've seen my friends say, taking medicine for depression and mood swings does not make you weak at all, and that means you're a lot stronger than most people because you're able to realize that you need that kind of help in the long run to help stabilize your life and stuff because it got that difficult. So I just want to remind people to not give up or anything. And I know this video is way too long now, but there was just so many things I wanted to talk about. But like I said, yes, expect a lot more videos to come. And I mean a lot. You might even see a mini fridge in my room at some point, and you might even see me start playing classic games like Chrono Cross, because I actually have a PlayStation and a copy of Chrono Cross finally. It's been years since I was able to play that. You might even start seeing me play the new Pokemon Snap, because I do plan on hopefully buying that. And for those that don't know or have not heard yet, it's going to be releasing, worldwide on the 30th of this month. I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, but it's for the Nintendo Switch. And it's called New Pokemon Snap. But the thing is I really wished they had changed the name to something else. Because New Pokemon Snap is okay, but they could have came up with a lot more creative names. But I'm not criticizing them. They can decide what they want to do, because I've been a Pokemon fan since the 90s, and I've never really nitpicked or got mad at the Pokemon Company for any of their decisions. In fact, I've been a huge supporter for everything they've done, because I acknowledge that it's really difficult to make a video game, let alone multiple copies to sell all around the world in multiple different languages. So it probably takes a lot of, mental stress levels upon these people to be working on such long, story-driven video games. And because I see this from their perspective, I have, high respect for these people. So I'm never ever going to be seen dissing these people under any circumstance, because unless you are a game developer, you have no right to criticize them in some negative way. See, helpful criticism with positive energy is okay. But if your criticism gets to the point where you're making false claims about people to get them arrested for things they did not do, that's when it's gonna have to be stopped, because you're going too far. And I hope that this isn't gonna be something that continues on down the road. But yeah, this is basically all I mainly wanted to talk about, was that, yeah, we're hopefully trying to buy a new house, and if we do, I'll definitely get my own room, so I'll finally be able to upload more frequently. So I hope you guys are excited for that as much as I am. It may not sound like that because of my voice, because again, Asperger's totally fricks that up for me, and I hope you guys are willing to be patient enough to be able to tolerate that, because I know a lot of people don't like that, but I am trying my best. Now, I will admit that because I'm fiction kin to a lot of male characters, I do kinda sorta alter my voice a bit to sound kinda like the character, because it boosts my confidence for being trans male, because I haven't transitioned yet, and that's why relationships might be hard, because a lot of people want to get really intimate years, months into the relationship, and because I haven't transitioned and I had a partner do something really terrible to me, at least to like 2 times back when they thought I was a female because I was too insecure to tell them I was actually a guy during that time they were dating me. Which is kind of my fault, honestly. I really should have just told them at the start, hey, I hope you don't mind, but this is most likely going to be considered a gay relationship because, hey, I'm a non-transitioned trans male individual. I hope that's not going to be like a turn off or something for you. And that's kind of my fault for not telling them that. That should have been the first thing I said, which is why a lot of people kind of accused me of making up being trans right after they broke up with me. But that's not the case, because at the age of 12 was when I started thinking about it. And in my teen years, I started questioning it. And then once I turned 20 is when I realized that that's exactly what I am. And no hate toward the parent that wanted to take the place of my bio parent, but it's times like this where I wish the bio parent was actually around to help with these transgender issues since they identify as trans female, because I really could have used that in my life to not be so insecure about who I am as an individual, because lately I've been feeling like I'm not really an adequate enough boy, and I've been practically hurting myself to prove that I'm a guy by physically overworking myself to the absolute death to prove how much masculinity I have by showing off how strong I am to the point where I'm literally hurting myself. And I know that's unhealthy. I'm not really good at self-care by any means, so I wouldn't recommend imitating that portion of what I do. But, just don't give up on, like, who you want to be. And, like, don't let people try to force you to be something that you're not comfortable with. Like I've said countless times on my YouTube channel, I want to hear that you guys are able to have what it takes to have success stories about coming out for who you are. Because even though I didn't have a very good success story like I was hoping, that doesn't mean that you guys can't have a better, reaction. Because, not everyone's going to accept it the same way as another person. But take it from this autistic boy here, I support you all no matter what you are. You could literally say that you're a rainbow toaster for all I know. And I'd still support you. And that's not even a joke. I'm being dead serious. I don't care what race you are, what religion you are. I don't care what your background is. So long as you're a nice person and you're genuine and you actually are very kind-hearted and you're not a terrible person, I am willing to support you all the way to the end of time, to the point of no return, and even beyond that point. So anybody on my subscriber list, just know that I consider you a part of my special online internet family. And you don't even have to prove yourself. You're an automatic family member no matter who you are. And I'm always going to be there when you need moral support or someone to turn to. So, if anything, always go back to my videos if you need some wholesomeness in your life and, need somebody to, encourage you to do great things and stuff. Because, I have the tendency of speaking great, powerful things that can motivate a lot of people to not give up, and the most broken people are the ones that usually have the greatest advice. So, and it's funny because I don't follow my own advice, and my coping mechanisms are just insane. One of the ones I've been doing for the countless years now is kind of laughing at my life like it's a comedy skit, because if I laugh at myself, any kind of laughter other people do won't affect me as bad. It still kind of does, but laughing at myself has proven to be a more funnier way of kind of making things a bit positive, despite, making fun of the pain I have. and stuff, because, you know, it doesn't work for everyone. But like I said, I do take my medicine. Uh, there are times, though, I will admit, where, you know, like I said before, that I feel like kind of sad about having to take that stuff. But, I mean, it does help. I mean, for the most part, I don't act out as often unless people really push my buttons. But for the most part, I'm a very easy and approachable guy. You can come to me for practically anything, like anything at all. And I hope this video, despite how long it is, because I'm just now seeing it's like 30 minutes long now. That's insane. That proves I don't script my videos at all. But hopefully I'm not wasting your time at all. I know update videos shouldn't be this long, but I kind of felt sentimental and emotional, and normally I'm not one to tap into my emotions with that whole Asperger's thing, but just wanted to, be down to earth with you guys, because it seems to me that a lot of you guys really like my wholesome videos, and you like my videos where I like encourage you guys a lot. So I'm gonna try to do more videos like that down the road, since you guys seem to really, really like videos of that nature. I'm trying really hard to do like random content where I try to be a little more hyperactive, since I actually do act like that off camera. It's just I'm really embarrassed by that and don't really know if I can do that without like possibly blushing or messing it up. I'm surprised I'm even able to show myself on camera for these YouTube videos, because for the longest time I've been kind of too afraid to do that. So I've kind of come a long way, and if I can come a long way, I'm sure you guys can too. So I hope you guys are having a great night, evening, day, whatever the time zone it might be, like whatever freaking time frame it is, and that you guys get the rest you need, and that this motivational long freaking talk, is going to help somebody, and just be alert for like any future content that I'm going to be uploading, because I'm going to be uploading a ton of stuff. Heck, you guys might actually get to see Maisie again if you want. Maybe even Yoshi. I mean, heck, to be honest, they're already sitting in the same room as me, so hold on for a second. See, right there, we got Yoshi over here, the oldest little elder cat, just laying here, because like I said, I'm supposed to be setting up my air mattress. I haven't done that yet. I was going to draw pictures of characters from the Perfect Apocalypse series, but I haven't done that yet either. But here's Maisie again. See that beautiful baby? Look at this cute little cat. She's kind of growing a bit. I mean, she's a beautiful little kitty. Just look at that little cat. This cat's like, oh, she's getting a little mad. I'll back up. But yeah, see this beautiful baby? She is the cutest thing ever. Like, that cat right there has been like my therapy pet this whole time. I mean, she's technically my sister's cat, but I am thankful that the Lord has blessed us with such a beautiful angel over there, because it seems to me that like people on the spectrum just get along better with like animals than they do people, and she's been a real big help this whole time, since I don't make very many friends because I'm socially awkward as heck. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest when it comes to talking, because you have to talk to me first before I speak, and even then I'm so awkward that I don't even know what to talk about. Half the time I feel empty and don't even know how to process how I feel or what my day is like, because I really just kind of like Dad, just kind of see it as just another day. Like, unless something really interesting happens, there's not really anything to talk about, really. And I'm not doing that to disappoint people. I just don't know how I feel half the time. Like, it's really hard for me to understand how I feel or what it's just really hard. Like, I'm pretty much just a child with a chronological adult age. And sometimes, I just want to stay at home and like not have to go anywhere and just not do anything other than childish stuff. Like, I know jobs are important because you need the money for important things and for the occasional things that you want in life, as like gifts to give yourself for a hard work and all. But sometimes I find it so hard to want to get up, though, that I just don't want to go out. And that's also because of depression, of course. But, like, I don't know if you guys are like that, but sometimes I just don't want to leave the house. I just kind of want to keep to myself and do my own thing and not be bothered. And I know that seems kind of, kind of dumb to some people because on one hand, I want like human interaction. I do want people to be around, but it's like on the same hand, I just don't like people like touching me either, if that makes sense. Like, if a person grabs me by the arm and I don't give them consent, it just makes me feel awkward because they say people on the spectrum of autism, they have like sensitivity to like light, sense of hearing, sense of smell and taste, and especially with touch and stuff. So normally, when you go to touch someone unannounced without warning, with people on the spectrum, they most likely will jerk away, even if it's friends or family. And it's not to make you feel discouraged because they don't like you. I mean, I love people. It's just hard for me to understand, the feeling of it, if that makes sense. So, when I say I love all you guys, on this channel, I'm very genuine about this. So don't think it's like an empty statement because I mainly say I love you mainly when I mean it. Because I feel like if you say I love you too often, it loses its meaning, and I think you should start using it for when you mean it the most. So save it for like important moments. Don't just say it because it's expected of you. Say it because you actually mean it. So, yeah, that's like my last thing. So for real this time, I'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys, have a great time. Anybody that has birthdays today or birthdays coming up, happy birthday to all those people in advance. I hope you guys have the best birthdays and your birthday wishes come true. And anybody struggling with relationship problems, I hope that eventually you'll get to a point in life where things are stable enough for you to finally find that special someone who's willing to accept you for who you are. And, those that are struggling in other ways, I pray that, you guys can find stable ground to where you guys can find success. But either way, I hope you all are doing well. And whenever I upload the next video, I'll see you next time.